And we're back with Marshall Goldsmith on Leadership Talk. Thanks for joining us, Marshall.
Hello, great to see you again.
Great to see you too. Marshall, there's a lingering question from a lot of leaders that I speak to, and it's about this idea of not having a title to mandate, to lead. I want to read a quote that you shared from Peter Drucker. It goes like this: "The great majority of people tend to focus downward. They are occupied with efforts rather than results. They worry over what the organization and their superiors owe them and should do for them. And they are conscious above all of the authority they should have. As a result, they render themselves ineffectual." I'd like to get your thoughts on this, Marshall, and also the idea of leader as influencer.
Well, let me talk about the idea of a leader influencing people, and especially when you don't have line authority. When you're not the boss, yet as a leader, you need to influence people. You need to influence people yourself throughout your own organization, up, down, all kinds of ways, when you're not inherently the boss or necessarily the boss. How do you do this? Well, to start with, Peter Drucker, to me, the world's expert on management. I just spoke at the Drucker Symposium. I got ranked #1 leadership thinker in the world twice. My intellect compared to Peter Drucker is that of a 10-year-old child. This guy was so smart. He taught me so many things. And the lesson I'm now going to share with you is a lesson I've shared with hundreds of people, literally thousands of times around the world. And if our viewers don't learn anything from me but this lesson, you're going to be better at influencing people for the rest of your life. And even more important, you're going to be happier. Because this lesson is not only going to help you influencing people, it's going to help you be happier. Now, what did Peter Drucker teach me about influence? First, our mission in life is to make a positive difference, not to prove how smart we are and not to prove how right we are. We get so lost in proving how smart we are and right we are, we forget we're not here on earth to prove we're smart and right. We're to make a positive difference. Peter Drucker's point, if you're not making a positive difference, it doesn't matter how smart you are, and it doesn't matter how right you are. Learning point number 2. Every decision in the world is made by the person who has the power to make the decision. Make peace with that. Every decision in the world is made by the person who has the power to make the decision. Make peace with that. Decisions are made based on one and only one variable: power. Who has the power to make the decision makes the decision. That's it. And by the way, it's not based on fairness, logic, rationality, or any of those other variables. It's pretty simple. Number 3, if I need to influence you, and you have the power to make the decision, there's one word to describe you. That word is called customer. There's one word to describe me. That word is called salesperson. Customers do not have to buy. Salespeople have to sell. So my job is I need to be a great salesperson and influence you in the best way I can to make a positive difference. The next learning point is sell what you can sell. Sell what you can sell. Change what you can change. If you can sell it, sell it. If you can change it, change it. Do not waste your life on topics where you're not going to make a positive difference. You're not going to sell it and you're not going to change it. Focus your life where you can make a positive difference, where you can change it. Now, as obvious as this lesson sounds, I have had to repeat this countlessly to people who are CEOs who have MBAs from Harvard. One gentleman's company was owned by a private equity firm in New York. Tough guys, private equity. You know what he says? He's 41 years old. He's never been a CEO. You know what he says about them? They can't tell me what to do. They were worth $15 billion. One guy can't tell me, he was a 41-year-old kid, what to do. Okay, well, the people in New York immediately run the numbers for how much costs to get rid of this guy. Well, it's a couple $1 million. They don't even care about the $2 million. It's just a pain. They hired me to be his coach. I'll say his name is Joe. Joe goes, well, I'm the CEO. They cannot tell me what to do. I said, Joe, I'm going to help you. You see, Joe, let me explain. I went through these Peter Drucker points about the decision maker. You see, Joe, it's their money. And actually, they can tell you what to do because it's their money. And now, Joe, you see, I'm going to tell you what to do. And if you do exactly what I tell you, I may save you. And if not, I have to go back to New York and you're gone. So that was 12 years ago. Joe had a very positive experience. He sobered up. He realized, hey, who am I? What am I doing here, right? And he had a great relationship with the organization. Once he realized, hey, I'm not the ultimate decision maker here. It's their money. They have a choice. And by the way, even worse, one of my clients owns 100% of the company. The CEO is telling her, you can't do this, you can't do this. You're insulting her family over trivia. Well, excuse me, it's her money. It's not your money. It's her decision. It's not your decision. So people need to understand we all have customers and we need to learn how to be good salespeople and don't get focused on being technically right. This is really challenging for engineers or scientists or people with logical backgrounds. Why? In school, we took courses and the key is get the quote right answer. So we focus our lives on being right. Well, the real world isn't like engineering school. In the real world, you need to make a positive difference. And if you don't make a positive difference, it is completely irrelevant how right you happen to be. The other thing is, if you really understand this point, you're much happier. You know what? You make peace with what you're not going to do. And you focus on what you can do. See, my coaching, this helped me. I work with people that care. I don't try to change people that don't care. Why? I'm probably not going to change anyway. And why am I devoting my time and energy for something that's probably going to have no positive outcome in the world when I can put my time and energy with plenty of people do care? Try to help them. Well, it makes my life happier. I try to apply Peter Drucker's good points. And I will say, of all the lessons Peter Drucker taught me, and there were many wonderful lessons, I was on his advisory board for 10 years. I got to spend 50 days with Peter Drucker, learned so much from him. This might be the most valuable lesson he ever taught me.
You know, those words, ever since you told me this, Marshall, and I've heard this from you some time ago, Peter Drucker's words, it really struck me and reminded me of my own personal mission as a leader, not to be the smartest person in the room, but to make a positive impact. And we all know that when you surround yourself with smart people and you enable them and get out of their way, some great things can happen. So thank you so much.